Welcome back to the Chuck&Schup show. I am Schup.
I'm Chuck. I'm still hungover.
Me too, man. And what is it today? Tuesday?
Yeah, we're almost there.
Dude, you ever just think what are days like?
I think they just mesh together. They just blend. And then when it comes to the weekend, I get this sense of euphoria that I need a drink. You know?
Yeah, I think it's just some government shit. But you know what?
Yeah, we could get into that, but
you know we got some more stuff to talk about.
we got some hot topics right now.
Just obviously big week in sports, but we gotta talk about football because tons of signings, tons of drama. NFL's been looking like WWE recently.
Literally.
All this shit.
Yeah.
But I want to start off with the biggest news probably of the week, which is Deshaun Watson. So Deshaun Watson gets the richest deal in NFL history, $230 million guaranteed.
Amid civil lawsuits, 20 of them.
Pissing off an entire fan base in the meantime, and pissing off your former franchise quarterback, Charlie Cap or no cap, this was worth it for the Browns.
I feel like a bad guy if I say
Don't say it, man.
I feel like a bad guy if I say it's no cap.
But
But it all might be cap because he's got, I think it's 23 civil suits that he still has to deal with. And I mean, I know laws pertain, like, you have to do the due process, but this has to look tough for the Browns.
It's not a good look. Listen, I don't think it's a good look for the NFL either. I feel like someone's just being
Completely
pushed.
agree.
Someone's being pushed under the rug. It can't how is he suddenly not guilty anymore? Just all of a sudden. But really it's not about that. I feel bad for Baker, who gave his all to the organization,
Literally.
and he played hurt last year, which is kind of why he played like shit. And they just you're done.
Yeah.
You're done.
See you later. We don't care about. We brought us to the playoffs. I mean, not him in particularly, but quarterback who brought them to the playoffs after a 20-year drought, 30-year drought.
Yeah.
The disrespect.
The worst part about it, he might not even have a spot to land anymore.
I know, and the Panthers don't want him. A lot of other teams don't want him.
He's not going to take a back role somewhere.
Definitely
he
not.
might have to. I don't know what else he's going to do, but that's my take on it.
I would probably. What do you think his best fit would be?
Baker, I think his best fit, if he can tolerate it, would be to stay on the Browns. Because if Watson gets a suspension, Baker could maybe start those first 4 or 6 games, and then they could trade into some other team who gets injured.
And it's tough because that's probably his best bet.
Yeah, but he's going to have to really suck it up, man. What NFL news you got for me?
So, I mean, I got recently, my boys, the Chiefs, they picked up Juju Smith-Schuster. I know everybody's making jokes like TikTok Kings in Kansas City with Jackson Mahomes and you know. But I think he adds a lot of versatility to the offense. He's that third option, and it's not bad to be a third option, especially in a high passing offense.
Right.
RPO game. I just hope he makes an impact and that the signing really does go through. Other than that, what do you think of the signing for Juju Smith?
I don't really care, Charlie. I'll tell you why. Because, he got a 1-year deal with the Steelers last year, and obviously he got hurt. But now he gets another 1-year deal. This guy showed a lot of potential, and I never really realized it. I mean, this is a cheap deal, so it could very well work out. But this is just a guy that's famous off clout, you know. Obviously, I mentioned before, it's all about the clout.
I just hope he makes a good comeback.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not looking too great for him. All right, Charlie. Moving on to another quarterback. This one a little bit on the AARP side, but our boy Matt Ryan, he's on the move for the first time in his career. He's going to Indianapolis. Got sent for a 3rd-round pick. Colts making moves again. It's their 5th quarterback in 5 years. Charlie, cap or no cap? Matt Ryan makes the Colts a contender in the AFC.
I think it's definitely cap. I think that he's just too old. I don't know if he's going to get it done. He's going to end up handing off the ball more than 50% of the time.
Literally, yeah.
So to Jonathan Taylor. So most likely Matt Ryan to the Colts is cap.
Yes, bro. The Colts have been just in flux ever since Andrew Luck retired. It's kind of like the ex that did you dirty, so you just keep hooking up with her friends, and you have this hole inside that you can't fill. And Andrew Luck left a hole in the Colts, and
And nobody
Can't fill it.
And nobody can fill it. I don't know. I don't think Matt Ryan can fill it. I think his years are over. They're behind him. Ultimately, they could be a contender though. Their division is probably one of the worst in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Titans, like they may be like the greatest team in that division, but they're not a great team.
Yep.
Anybody could beat them.
Texas ain't doing anything.
So I'm not gonna say like it's fully capped. It may be half capped.
But there's too many good teams in the AFC West for them to contend.
Exactly.
Right? So going on to another quarterback. This one didn't move teams. I'm talking about Jimmy G. What's going on with Jimmy G, man? Like, Jimmy, he's not moving anywhere. Chuck cap or no cap, Jimmy G is going to stay on the 49ers?
I love Jimmy G. Jimmy G is nice. You heard it here right now.
He's
a nice
man.
quarterback. He's a good-looking guy, handsome, smart. You know, he's fooled around with a couple of porn stars. That guy's a G. He's a homie. You know? I think he takes care of. I mean, he maybe makes some dumb decisions. But I feel like he takes care of the ball well. I mean,
he's okay. He won't win you game. He won't really lose you game. He'll lose some in between there, but like they obviously love the upside of Trey Lance. But all the spots are filled for QBs at this point. I mean, maybe the Seahawks, but I mean, why would the Seahawks trade assets when they're fully rebuilding? And then you got maybe the Panthers. But
I'll honestly say no cap. On the record, no cap. Who's gonna help out Trey Lance? Is Trey Lance even ready? Like, why not keep Jimmy G?
Jimmy G don't want to be there.
And yeah, I mean, I wouldn't either. But
I get what you're saying.
That may be his best bet.
Yeah, man. Speaking of bets, today's sponsor is DraftKings. Deposit $50 and you get a free gambling addiction.
Yes.
Anyway, Chuck, before we end this NFL talk, right? So you were telling me something about Gronk before.
Oh yeah, recently there was a little video up in the air I saw on Bleacher Report. It portrayed Gronk. He was at a barbershop. He was talking to some young fan and his dad after he got a fresh cut. And he was talking about how like Gronk may come back, you know, like in the middle of the season.
It's a very good chance.
Pull like who came back? Pull
like his quarterback?
Oh yeah, maybe. And then he might come back. He said like 2 months after the season starts, like teasing Brady because Brady 2 months after he retired, like said he's coming back. So Gronk was jokingly saying he might do that to him. I think this is no cap gonna happen. This is definitely no cap. I don't think Gronk would cap about coming back. You know, I think Gronk is all business and his brand is insane, and I'm a big Gronk guy.
Charlie, here's a real question. Cap or no cap? Would you let Gronk sleep with your girlfriend?
No, definitely not.
No,
definitely
nah,
not.
bro.
No.
Dude,
Nah.
if he wanted to like shank my entire family, like I'd let him do it. Dude, so awesome.
I'd definitely party with him.
Yeah.
Gronk, definitely would party with Gronk and his girlfriend. Shout out Camille Kostick. So
shout out her. And speaking of parties, the party is just getting started here. We're going to be right back with Dubs and L's and a little bit of love for the NCAA tournament. What a wild
there it is. A couple of picks here. UNC, baby.
Oh, never mind. We lost. Party's back, baby. All right. Our favorite segment, besides cap or no cap, Dubs and L's, with our two favorite letters on the keyboard. I'm going to get started with my dub of the week.
Let's hear it.
Zadarius Smith.
Yes.
So,
yes.
he turned down an offer the previous week from the Ravens to return to his former team. And he got, like a $36 million deal. Decent deal, you know, playing with a familiar coach and stuff, but he turned it down and everyone was like, what's going on? Well, it turns out today he signs with the Vikings and he gets $7 million more.
Yes.
Talk about betting on yourself and coming out victorious, because a lot of these guys that bet on themselves, you know, they get hurt or they misjudged their value, but he actually, you know, it looks justified for him, like, ditching his former team. And on top of that, he gets to play against his old rival in the Packers and go up against him twice a year.
Huge pickup. I think this is a huge pickup for the for the Vikings. So I'm going to go with my dub right now. So my dub after today, seeing one of the most athletic performances I've seen in a pro day, it's going to be Malik Willis, absolutely roping 70-yard passes in his pro day.
This dude can
on
ball.
A dot. Like, he can ball. He can legit ball shoot. Like, who are you picking first round? If you need a quarterback, do you think you're going to pick Malik? I mean, I think I'm going to pick Malik.
Listen, there's not much competition up there at the top. If anything, like, he could be there. I think he'd be a good match for the Falcons. I mean, they wanted another Michael Vick for a long time, and Mario's obviously not the long-term answer. He would make sense in number 8, but you know, it's not just he's got a rope, but can he make the smart decision?
That's true. I mean, he did play like Liberty, like really not much competition, but his pro day he did show up and he did show out, and I'm impressed with it by his arm. My L for this week has to be Urban Meyer.
So many L's.
Multiple L's on this case. Apparently, his defensive offensive coordinator, his assistant coaches, they were discussing like NFL, like how the players, like how everything works in the NFL. Like, I guess this guy didn't know how the NFL worked. Like, I don't know. Like, I get it. Maybe you can just watch college football and like not watch the NFL, but like I feel like the NFL is on most of the time, and like you definitely get these instances where you hear about big players and you see their names, but apparently Urban Meyer didn't even know who Aaron Donald was.
That was ridiculous.
He in a quote he said, who's this 99 guy on the Rams? Like, that's like saying, like, back then his age as a kid, like my age at 20, it's like saying, like, who the hell is this 56 guy on the Giants?
Right.
Like, it makes me think that I could have coached the Jaguars this season.
Doesn't even do the basics of watching film, man. There are so many nuggets in there. Like, he said that if his players were mad, like in the preseason, like he'd cut them and they'd all be working $15 an hour jobs.
Okay,
like, these
so
are college
like,
students. Just disrespect them to their face.
Also, I think he doesn't know how the economy works, because I think minimum wage is like 16 or like 17 now. I'm pretty sure in New Jersey it's like up there. So I don't think this guy's listening to what's around him. He's too busy dancing on younger chicks at a bar, even though he's married.
Oh yeah. One last thing before we go into my L. But apparently he was going up to position group, telling him that woman was trying to like lure him onto the floor.
Oh
in
yeah.
that video.
Okay.
Like,
okay. Yeah, okay.
That now you just sound bad. Like, he just sounds caught. Anyway, I'm gonna go.
It's terrible.
My L is going to go to an insurance company.
Yes.
Progressive. Charlie, why do you think?
Those not so funny Baker commercials that are on all the time. I think after the first time I laughed, and then like when they just kept going, I think I was just like, all right, I'm done.
Literally. So they had this whole idea for progressive commercials, and now they're gonna have to scrap all of that. It's not like they're gonna use Watson for a commercial. Like, good luck getting your brand on for that. What are they gonna move?
Watson in a commercial, you're losing everybody.
I can imagine some of the puns in that, but like now they're gonna have to move like these commercials to Carolina Stadium when he's backing up Sam Darnold. It's just not a good look for progressive. That's endorsement money. Whew, down the drain.
Yeah, stick to flow. Definitely stick to flow, not Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, flow's definitely bad.
Yeah, flow is bad. Confirmed flow is bad.
Confirmed. Let's confirm some other things, because you know the first weekend of the NCAA tournament had just arrived. You and I, we talked last week about our picks. We got absolutely absolutely obliterated. But you know what? We take the L on the chin, and we're just gonna enjoy the tournament for what it is. But a few questions. So we're down to 16 teams so far. Who is your team that you think is gonna win, and who's like your surprise potential champion?
I'm gonna start out. My surprise champion. And I say this like I feel like I'm not a fan saying it's a surprise, but I'm gonna go with UNC. I'm gonna go with UNC Tar Heels.
Of course you are, right?
I love my boy Brady Manick. They almost lost because he did a flagrant 2, and they kicked him out of the game. They almost lost. Baylor came back, and I had Baylor. Mind you, I had Baylor winning my bracket, and Baylor ends up coming back from this 26-point deficit. But then my boys in overtime, UNC, they pull it out, and I've never seen so much grit in a second round from a UNC team, besides when they went back-to-back. But they usually just always fold in the second round, so I can see them going far.
That was unbelievable, man, and I legit thought they were going to lose that game, especially once Baylor forced overtime, but good of them for pulling through. My surprise is going to be Houston. Maybe not so much because they played well, but they are a 5 seed, and they have Arizona coming up. If they get past Arizona, I really think it's a cakewalk to the championship because they got Villanova team is not that strong this year.
They just make all their free throws. That's what Villanova does.
Yeah, pretty much. Well-coached team, but Houston gets Kansas. Like I don't think any of these teams really are that strong, which I have a hard time picking an actual champion. But I think Houston is coming up at the right time. They're very hot, and they got that tournament experience. So all factors are there. So who do you think's actually going to win that?
I'm going to go with, like, everybody's gone with them. So, I mean, I am going to stick with Gonzaga. We'll see how far hopefully they win the whole thing, but, like, I'm kind of going to just watch them. If they lose early, I won't be surprised, but I think Gonzaga is going to win the whole thing because they have such a complete team, and they've been just doing so well this season.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised if Gonzaga wins at this point. But, it's really tough because a lot of these teams have shown flaws so far.
100%.
And
I love that Houston pick. They have all the experience too. Houston, they went far last year. They went to the Final Four, right?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure.
Yes, they did.
So they definitely have a lot of experience. I mean, I could see Houston pulling that out as well.
I'm going to go with the winner of the Houston-Arizona team cutting down the nets. And that's going to be my bold take. Obviously, I'm about like 0 for 32 right now.
Yeah,
college basketball takes.
It's just terrible.
But,
just terrible. Didn't even enjoy it Saturday.
I kind of did. Sunday night, great bunch of games. But, let's go back on that. So, out of this whole weekend, was your favorite tournament moment?
I would have to say, my favorite moment was St. Peter's.
Jersey, baby!
Just St. Peter's just going off.
Shout out Jersey. I know we in New York, but shout out Jersey City.
Favorite quote from the head coach. They asked him if he was scared or if his guys were like afraid of like getting bodied or whatever, like just playing a physical game. And the coach, he shrugs it off and he says something along the lines of like, I got guys from New York, New Jersey. We're not scared of anything.
That's us, baby. That's us.
That got me fired up. I was about to run through my fucking TV after he said that.
Dude's got swag. I will say that. My favorite moment of this weekend was the Indiana cheerleader getting the ball, but not really because of the cheerleader. Like, that was an okay moment. It was the commentator who hyped it up.
Oh, yes. I totally forgot about that. He was hyping that up.
The mob. No, she's got it! Oh, what a play!
But the energy you have to bring, especially when Indiana's like down big in that game's already over. Like, you just gave that girl a moment of her life.
That play-by-play was electric. I totally forgot about that.
Like, imagine Joe Buck calling that. He's like, and the cheerleader gets up and gets the ball out, and we can play again.
And then he's like, that was disgusting.
Troy Aikman. How are those guys paid so
much?
I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, we'll be right back with our final segment. It's going to be a surprise. We'll let you know. Well, welcome back. We mentioned we had a surprise for you, but it's a brand new segment.
Surprise is here.
Here we go. We're going to go into Go Off King. Go Off King is a segment where me and Charlie will take 2 minutes each. We're going to rant about something that happened in sports, or maybe like not even sports, like off topic. Just something that really grinded our gears this week, like this old Peter Griffin saying. So, I'm going to start off our first ever Go Off King and really delve.
Go off, King.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate your permission. Really, I'm going to go off about the Cleveland Browns. And I touched on it before, but I really think it's important that I go into this again because, and this is not just about the Browns, but it's going to be about the Watson thing in general. But the fact that they gave him the richest contract in history, and reports are out there that they didn't even contact the lawyer of the 22 women that were suing for additional evidence. So, like I said, something's being swept under the rug here, but it's just the NFL literally has its priorities all messed up when guys are out of the league for a year for a betting on an app that they promote, and banning Josh Gordon repeatedly for smoking weed, which really, if anything, helps players get through pain. But
facts.
Without getting too off topic here, the real thing that bothers me is just like how they treated Baker, because before Baker came, they were 1-15 and then 0-16 the previous year, and even before
Brandon Weed and Case Keenum.
dude, even before that, like year after year of just mediocrity, just not making the playoffs, and they finally get their first playoff win against a division rival. And then they just do this, like just a reactionary move, and then going, not just that, but insulting him while they're at it and saying, we want an adult at quarterback. Like, why would you leak that out there? But the last point I want to make on this...
Yeah, an adult.
Yeah.
Deshaun's an adult, right?
The last point I want to make on this is, the Browns are going to get all the flack here, but let's not forget about the Panthers, the Falcons, the Saints, all teams that pursued Watson to improve their quarterback situation, nonetheless, but just forgiving this guy or even assuming he's innocent after all it's gone. I mean, I know plenty of Browns fans, because I went to Ohio State, I know plenty of Browns fans who, aren't going to root as hard for the Browns this year. And that's saying something. Your own fan base doesn't want to root as hard. So
that's pretty insane.
That's my speech. Chuck, go off, King.
Thank you, sir. I love that Browns topic because I think I could talk about that for hours. But I'm going to veer off track of NFL. I'm going to go right to the NBA. Kyrie Irving. I mean, I don't know what's going on here or what has to happen to get this guy on the floor in his own home court. But I hate telling someone to take the vaccine or what have you. I mean, couldn't he have done something by now? I feel like he's just wasting a total potential for a team to win a championship. Me as a Nets fan, he's a Net fan. Ever since the Izod Center, Jason Kidd, Vince Carter. I really want to see Kyrie go off, how I'm going off right now. Kevin Durant, he's getting frustrated because Kyrie can't play. James Harden already left because Kyrie couldn't play, and James was just left out there to dry after Kevin Durant got hurt. I mean, this Nets team, it's like they're holding a championship in your face, and they're just letting it dangle in your face. And you know how much potential they have, and you know what they can do with it, and you know they can make a run. Geez, they went to the 76ers, and they beat their ass without a Ben Simmons. And where the hell is Ben Simmons? But that's another guy. But, I mean, Kyrie, this whole season has been about him. And it's the Kyrie show, I guess. And it's very selfish. And that's all I have to say about that. Hopefully he turns it around. And once he does, I'll be praising Kyrie. You'll see me back here the following week saying how great he is. But for now, he's really on my shit list.
And just to add to that point, because I think every point you made is excellent. The fact is that, some Nets fans or NBA fans will be like, okay, the Nets are fine. They'll be in the playoffs. But they're in the play-in game right now. Right now, they're the 8 seeds. They have to go on the road in Toronto. Kyrie can't play in that game. If the Nets lose that game, then they got to play a home game against the winner of the Hornets and Hawks. Kyrie can't play in that game. Kyrie might not even make it to the playoffs, and then it was just a waste.
Such a waste.
Why do we have to rely on Durant to put up 50? Kyrie, get your stuff together.
Literally. But on a better note, we got college basketball this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't wait. We're going to have a little March Madness again. I'm going to go absolutely insane. Hopefully St. Peter's pulls it out. Who are they playing?
They're playing Purdue.
Purdue's a good team.
Purdue chicken,
shout out
bro.
Jaden Ivey. He's nasty. But shout out my boy Doug from Burton Catholic.
Yes, if you're watching this, Doug, shout out.
Shout out Doug. Yeah, we love you, bro.
And,
Jersey, baby.
Chuck, I loved having you here. And, man, how we want to end this show today? Little Juju Smith-Schuster?
Yeah, little TikTok dancing. He's gonna be TikTok dancing touchdowns this season. Ha ha!
Big cheese, baby. All right, thank you for watching our show, baby. Chuck&Schup.
We'll see you next week. We'll see you next week.
Dude, you can let go now, right?
Favi, Sosa.
Dude, how long do I have to stay like this?
I'm in this bitch with the wooski.
Help, please, Charlie.